it's not reasonable that you have the luck to get rich during your life, that you can earn or get 5 or 10 times more pension than a man or a woman who had not the luck to be wealthy. And that is a question of solidarity. Stop this high level pensions plafond and bring this low level to reasonable level.
I think the stress on the seminar was that in current economics, the stress always is on economical growth, more and more. And the thing that green politics sets apart from other environmental movements or other ideologies, that we don't believe in growth, we believe in progress, but progress as in more equality between men, women, and more diversity between cultures and species, and a real sustainable world that accepts the limits what is possible for the earth and for people.
Basically, growth is desirable to the individual affected by that growth. I mean, if we take a state desires its own growth. Now, whether that's on cooperative terms as it is within the EU or on competitive terms when it comes to international trade, it's another issue.
Okay. Yeah, on the one hand, I see it as a natural process of, for example, if we look at tree saw ourselves, a child grows up and a way of development, but that wouldn't mean that economic growth is also a necessary fact. I think often that this idea of growth forces us to produce always more, to consume always more. But why not finding a sufficient level that also is connected, is based on an amount of resources that our planet can really give.
Okay, I got 2 perspectives on growth. One is the green perspective, of course, that growth is the idea of using more and more of our natural resources, and of course that's not possible. I mean, money can grow in eternity, but but nature is just it's just one planet, so it's not possible, and we have to stop it because it's destroying the planet. But the other perspective is I'm studying economics, and in school we have all these graphs and so if you have more capital, then you get this growth, and if you have technological development, then you have this growth. And maybe, I mean, there's a shift also in green ideology that maybe there are solutions in technology. Before we were very critical. Okay, cars, technology, woohoo! But there might be green technology, so there might be green growth. I don't know.
Yeah. And then you have to start.
Growth is in current situation to try to get more without thinking current situation and sources. But for me, it should be to develop the world and share everything for future generation.
If you want to be more narrow about economic growth, it's typically defined in terms of GDP growth. So, whether it's good or bad, that's actually debatable. But typically, nowadays, you probably want to say development is more important than growth. If growth means some sort of a growth in quantity rather than quality, whereas development is sort of an improvement in quality. So,
Therefore, it's more seeing the components of growth. That's very important to see what led to the growth. I mean, if we see the credit crisis, there were high rates of growth within certain sectors which were not sustainable. Given certain, there was lack of transparency and regulation when it comes to the financial sector and what it was funding and what it was selling to people to get that short-term financial needs for the banking sector to continue giving out loans from which they would make the profit.
Dominate the state also because the Prussian king is then the German emperor, and it was like that.
I think that the poverty is growing up around in whole Europe between generations, in all kinds, because I can see a lot of people that haven't enough income, they are working poor, and so I think the poverty is growing up around the world. It's very important for me to do something against this.
I think growth is something you can't always see. It can be also invisible. Like me, I stopped growing when I was 11 years old, like physically. But I can still say I have grown a lot since I was 11 years old. I'm like 1 meter and 52, but I'm still growing all the time, although I'm so small. So
for me, the growth is similar to progress, the word progress. I mean, starting doing the same things in a better way, in starting to do it right, to do it more, to make it more effectively.
I don't know if I'm answering this correctly, but for me, growth in terms of economics is seen because I focus on development. I think that it has to do with people being people and the ecosystem and animals and everything about our planet being brought into the same level of development, and that would be growth. That's what growth is. It doesn't matter if your GDP is increasing, because I think that's pathetic, but it's important that we're all on the same level and that we're taking care of each other. That's what I would consider growth. I don't know if that's too.
Growth is a lot about greed. I mean, at least the way it is for now. And I think instead of growth, maybe we should just change it and make it into cooperation. So growing all together instead of growing one by one.
Growth. We could say economic growth, which means to have more money to spend for, or government growth, which means I don't know, to respect human rights and be open-minded in new ideas. Social growth, which means all people work as groups together, and everybody can understand the others and again respect the rights of the others.
In 2050, 45% of the population in Western Europe will be over 60. And don't think this is still so many years.
We'll be the biggest lobby group.
We already are, but don't think that's far away. It goes so fast.
So growth in a green economy is really about growth in nature, so that growing a rainforest means the trees grow and the plants and ecosystems flourish around it. In a conventional economy, growth would be chopping the trees down and the death of the trees and then being used for furniture or something like that. But the problem is that's not sustainable, and other generations, future generations, have no forests, so almost growth in the conventional economy means death and decline, and in a green economy it means growing and flourishing and a holistic network and a holistic habitat for the other things in nature. So what we want is real, true growth. We want to redefine growth, redefine prosperity, and make it mean something good that benefits everyone.
So growth for me would be increasing people's prosperity. So that is increase salaries, increase social allowance, but also of course increase taxes. But all this would result in less work for people and more fun and happiness.
Okay, growth for me, because I'm a northerner, is about personal development, and that requires engagement with other people and the things that are around us. And it doesn't really have a lot of economic material connotations, growth, that word. But when I think about it more economically, I often think about people in the south. For them, growth is very, very important because they don't have a lot of material resources, certainly compared to what we have here. And because they're living in poverty, I think it's really important that we secure economic growth for them.
I think that growth shouldn't be seen just as economic growth, but also as leading to social growth and sort of improving, not only sort of improving the data in the economy of a country, but also improving the standards of living in the country, and which can be both sort of the wages, but also environmental standards, health standards, so they can lead a better life.
Growth is about sustainability, first and foremost, and then it's about the distribution of that growth as an economic impulse to push further the resources of the country, of the nation, to a better and more effective use. So we see any state, the first investment it's in its people. So you have growth, first thing you do with the new cash is give it to the educational system to make it more dynamic and more flexible for future markets.